Yeah, it's exciting. A stat you referenced when we were doing our prep is, look, 70 to 80% of digital transformation projects fail in some way. Is it because folks start with the technology instead of the people first? Like, kind of diagnose that. Why do you think that happens? And where are the trends from your experiences?
It's interesting because the numbers come from the big three strategy consultancies, right? So Bain, McKinsey, Boston Consulting Group, and if you kind of poll each one of those, you get a slightly different number, but it's always in that 70 to 85% failure rate. The genesis of that failure rate is, I think, largely a lack of vision or a lack of understanding of what those two words, when you put them together, actually mean for your company. And digital transformation is almost a meaningless phrase at this point, unless you provide some context about, well, what does that mean for us? What are we moving from analog to digital? What are we transforming exactly in our business? I hear a lot of people from stage talking about, well, it shouldn't be called digital transformation, Walt. It should be called business transformation. That's what it should be. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not what they call it. They call it digital transformation, right? So, what's the deal there? And then you can split hairs and get into semantics and talk about, well, are we just taking a bunch of stuff that's currently analog and manual and trying to build some process automation and digitalization around those kinds of things? Are we removing human labor, or are we adding, processing speed, power? What are we doing here? How do we do it? And then you throw that transformation word in there, and that all of a sudden shifts it from just a project or a program to do some kind of improvement or add some automation to, well, we got to make a substantive change here from what we were before to what we're going to be at the end, right? And it's a very powerful word, transformation. And so, back to what's the root of all the failure. I think a lot of people don't do the homework up front to figure out, well, what does that mean to us? What are we actually doing? What's the vision for this thing? So if we're going to be transformed, what are we be transformed into, and what's that going to look like, feel like, smell like, taste like? How are we going to measure that transformation? How do we know when we're done? Is there a when we're done, or is it a continuous improvement journey that we're about to start that will never end, right? And I actually think that's the right answer. If your transformation has a known defined state, you're probably not doing a transformation.
Yeah, yeah, really kind of a lot of times it's more concept and a direction with an azimuth. It's kind of what I've seen.